Hey, hey, welcome. Welcome to CarExamer.com. Who doesn't know what we do? We do used car inspections. Why we do it? So you can make a good decision and buy a great car. That is our vision. That's what we want. That's why we're there for. And yes, and everyone thinks, why would you need to inspect this vehicle? I guarantee you bought a bad car. I bought a bad car for my sister because I was partying too much on that the day before, and when I had to go and check it, I was not in a position to check the vehicle. When you don't have your right gear with you, even you will make a mistake. That's just the nature, You could be the best mechanic and you're going to check the car, and if you don't have the right tools, you're nobody. You know what I mean? So it's to inspect a vehicle is not just looking physically on a vehicle. It's about the way it feels, about the process, the way the seller treats you, the way you feel, the way the environment is, and how they welcome you. Same way you should be approaching any seller when you're trying to buy a vehicle, because it's about the feelings, right? Because it's about you going to spend the money, and if somebody treats you unwell and you don't feel welcome and they're rushing you, but where you want to find out a bit more information about a vehicle, it puts you down. And that's normal, because that's how everyone, if you want to buy something, spending money, it doesn't matter what it could be, you want to feel good, and if your information is not being given and you've been not treated the way you want it, you have two choices: find somebody else, find better car, or ask somebody to inspect it. But the main thing is, if you felt not right at that point of time, highly likely I would suggest, from my experience, from the people who inspect the cars for our customers, the inspectors. We have about 20 of them around the UK at the moment, but we're growing, and it's just that feeling. That's the main feeling, and the way you are treated. It means if you're treated badly, when you're coming back to the inspectors, if they're treating you badly, they have something to hide. It happens over and over again. When one of the inspectors are treated bad, they might not allow to drive the vehicle. They will come up with many excuses just to not distract you, or they staying in watching you from the start to finish. They're watching you they're not allowing you to road. They're watching you how you drive in the vehicle. So that's a fact when they have something to hide, and clearly you would not want somebody to buy this vehicle. It's just simply because when something will go wrong, that will be you who will call in, making phone calls, trying to sort it out. The distance maybe between the buyer and the seller it could be 200 miles, 300 miles, and you ain't gonna keep running back to them to giving your car back. Yes, we have trading standards. We have a Consumer Act 2015, which protects consumers much more than previously, right? But not everyone plays by the rules, There is rules for somebody and there's rules for nobody. And in which category you will be. Yes, we have smaller sellers who are good. Then there's a mid-range who have like 100 cars in stock, 150, who are good. And then you have these supermarkets, right? So it doesn't matter from who you're going to buy. Yes, from bigger supermarkets it will be easier to buy, but again, if you will buy, then they will not tell you everything about a vehicle because they're not interested. Everyone buys car, right? And clearly, how do you get into this? Where did they get in these used cars from? Clearly from main dealers, auctions, or big lease companies who hands those vehicles back, and it's just that this is how used car market survives. This is how the cars coming back into the market to you when you're buying used cars. Somebody buys the new car, all cars go back, or somebody might have a 1-year contract, had 60 cars and they're flogging it back. And what are the lease companies going to do with it, or main dealers? Let's sell it, and that's okay, that's fine. And bear in mind, all of these vehicles, right, might have some issues. Well, clearly, all of them going through the workshop, they're being painted. They call smart repair guys out. They refurbed alloys. They do servicing, and some places do a lot. Some places don't. You can see by the cars they have, what kind of condition they are, how clean they are when you go to the used car sales place, and you can. It depends what your values are, how you see yourself, and what you want, and from who you want to buy the vehicle. Whether did you ever check from who you're going to buy? Does it matter to you? How reputable they are. Who knows them? Do you know them? But remember, your money will go away. So what I want to say, yes, and coming back to Consumer Act, right? And yes, we have protections. Consumers has protections, but I mean, that's the one thing. Yes, some places will take the car back. It's hard language, hard talk, right? I mean, who wants to take the car back? They sold you your car, you wanted this car, you liked it, you bought it, and it's your problem, right? Technically it is, because you've seen it, you liked it. I mean, okay, I'm not talking about a latent defect, about gearbox issues, but I'm talking about the visual, right? Where everyone looks, I love this car, it's sick, it's got black alloy wheels. That car doesn't. But that car might have full service history, both keys, but the other car just has one key and half of the service history. And because people are attracted by what they see, not because what value you might get buying this vehicle, and then you get trapped. And then that's fine, the car goes wrong, and then some places might they will be understandable, and they proud what they sell. They love customers, and they will help you. They will do the best as they can to do it, And I like to do business with those people, And there's not many, not many, Probably I've seen just one car supermarket where I went and I had to do an inspection where the people treated you nice, but the rest of those car supermarkets, they don't care, they just care. It comes from the top again. We need sale. Where's the service, right? You want to pay more for the service than just the car. You can get a car anywhere you like. There's so many companies, there's so many people, you don't have to give them money, but you went there because they're sort of big. But the customer service comes where, man, I just sometimes I'm just shocked, because they just want to. They don't have time. It's like, you should go bake the bread then, Then you can run around, I will do 10 shots there, 10 in that oven, but baking pizzas, But when you're selling a car, you take it from somebody a lot of money, and that money is hard, really hardly earned, and or might be borrowed from the bank or the leasing company, and you're paying monthly things. So we are here to make life easier for you. You rather you spend £180 on a premium inspection. That is where's the key? I got a key, car key. I got it in the pocket. That key costs 180. Some costs £500 just to make another one. And on some supercars, it will cost up to £20,000, right? So for one key, you get the information about whole of the vehicle, paint thicknesses, which is vital. the charging system test, road test. There's a lot of detail goes into these inspections. You know, you might think, oh, just check the car. I mean, what is check the car? I mean, it's a lot. You want to read this report, right, and make a rational, sensible decision. Yes, sometimes the inspector can't advise you sometimes to buy the car because there is I like this and he likes that, right? But biologically looking and applying common sense, you can make a rational decision because you have potential repair costs. You will know that we use paint thickness gauges. We have the CarExamer ones. Inspect the car. Well, clearly, let's just get to the basic. If there are bodyworks done, yes, the bumpers can be resprayed because we understand. Let's get to the London. If you look at some cars in London, all of them are scratched, right? Because it's a bumper to bumper parking, and well, clearly they will be resprayed. But when we get into not getting too much in detail about insurance write-offs, right, and where you can actually drive away from the accident, and obviously it will never be registered as an insurance write-off, but there will be bodywork repairs carried out on those vehicles, and if there are, somebody touched that car, so that means the value of the vehicle drops because it's not as original anymore. If you guys from Facebook buying cars or from Instagram, you understand what I'm saying. If you ripped your shirt and your mom stitched it up, is it new? No, it was new. Yes, because it is used car. Yeah. But I mean, they not advertising on adverts. He had issues, right? That's the main thing. That is what annoys me. I'm a consumer. I buy cars. My family buys cars. Inspectors buying cars. But they say, yeah, it's a great car. Everyone says it's a great car. The priest driven it, or maybe the Queen family had it for a year, and they never driven it. They only looked at it. They opened 3 times the front door, and sat there once, But reality is they will never say the car has been resprayed. We go to car supermarkets. It doesn't matter where we do. Inspectors go everywhere. We go to main dealers, car supermarkets, private sellers. Smaller sellers who have 10 cars in stock, 20 cars in stock, we seen everything. We know what's going on in a business. You know what's going on because you've been stunned. Somebody been stunned buying a used car, and then you're just doing your head in, what to do and how to do it, and then the costs are going up and your time and everything else, So coming back to yes, so that means anything what's been touched is not anymore as new, and that means if you're taking 3 cars, for example, or 5 cars, let's say VW Golfs, 15 plates, 2015 reg, right? And one of them has got original colour, haven't been touched, never been resprayed, has 2 keys. Let's assume all of them has full service history, right? If you buy one of them and then they had doors dented, something might done on an A-pillar or front fender or some bonnet resprayed, and you buy that car and you don't know, you're not gonna know because there are people who he can actually respray your vehicle and it will look like it came out from the factory, even better, right? Some factory resprays are sometimes shocking, most of the time. But that's what I'm saying, and you're not gonna know. And so if you know, then you have choices or options. You don't want to pay that money because the car had some issues, because in the long term, obviously you're not gonna keep the car for 10 years. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just judging by myself. I know I'm not going to keep the car for 10 years, but some people might do, and when after 10 years you got starting some rust issues, yes, if everything is prepped done the way it should be, by the manufacturing standards, not using cheap materials. Yes, and if they were sensible, there's not much filler used. Everything's up to 300 microns, so 200 microns, which is perfect, right? But I mean, when you're starting getting like in some areas 1200 microns, 14, 15, and you have several things, several places around this vehicle. I mean, yes, it's done to the good standard. It looks nice. You might not see it, because sometimes you can't see it by the eye. You have to use paint thickness gauge because it's done really good, you know. But then again, you got those cars, and I got one example. Just get to the car supermarket, a huge place. They have many places around the UK, and the customer, is waiting in reception, and I'm checking, and they said the car is good. I mean, I'm looking at a vehicle. Well, clearly the paint's not matching on the doors. But they're not saying that on adverts, right? They might be wasting your time, you know. Many places using Photoshops, by the way. You might not know that, but that's a reality, you know. But I looked at the car, it's fine. When you go, the bloody bumpers, you can see. You don't have to be an ape, you know. They don't match, you know. So many places using Photoshop. So in reality, you might have something different, because they might use some filters where you're not going to see the little micro scratches and things like that. You know, that it will be done by there are companies offering those specific services to take the pictures. So they might have in big places, they have somebody who will get the pictures right. They put it online and they roll, you know, and that's the reality of the used car business. And then you go there, oh yeah, it's a nice used car, and you don't know something, and you just buying a vehicle. So we're here to make sure you know everything about the vehicle, so you can make a decision, even if it has been resprayed. You know, I'm not against, or we not against, or inspectors not, or anyone in a trade not against some issue, because you as a human, you could have, you trip over, you might fracture something, and then you got doctors giving you operations, sticking bones together and growth, and everything's done perfect. You're a perfect human being again, right? But then we have to worry about these vehicles which are not done to the right standard, you know, where you can see visual discrepancies, where it's not anymore nice, you know, and why would you have to pay average market value? Would you agree? You know, and why they can't tell you had that issue? You would feel better, you know, instead of buying a car, then going home, and then your buddies coming around, or girls, and some of the girlfriends might they have the guy who works at mechanic, and she might see certain things, say, "Ha! Look at your car. It had been resprayed," and then you feel like a plonker, right? They haven't told you. But again, you've seen it. You know, I'm not going into details about engine failures, warning lights, gearbox issues, selection issues, clutch issues. I'm just talking about just visual. You know, because there's more to it, and you can't just say, "I want to take it back." Yes, you again coming back to Consumer Act 2015. I mean, it's used car. You know, it drives. It doesn't have any faults technically, but he had some cosmetical issue. It's like you went to the girls go to to the makeup artist, and they just put some not nicer things on, you know, and then you wash it off. Oh damn! I mean. Oh, some blokes as well do that now, you know. I mean that's life, and I just wanted to give you a bit of heads up around used cars. So I'm not saying you have to inspect it, but you might just call your dad, kick the tires around, but that would not make a difference. That will not make a difference. You get a professional, get people who know what they do. They love cars. We love customers, we want you to have a good car, and that's what we do. It's not just about money. It's about just trade. Is just being all over the place, and what they sell is shocking, and they're not being transparent. They're not disclosing information because what they're scared of you not making a transaction with them. That's what they're scared of. They don't understand the psychology of the people, right? You rather know everything about a car and have a right price, or they can just simply offer you something better. Not all of the cars in their yard will be bodged up, right? Let's just use this term. I'm not saying they are bodged up, but I mean, clearly some car may be better than other car. Visually, the way it drives, the way it performs, who had it before, it's just the fact it's used cars. You don't know who been driving it, how they've been driving it, how they've been servicing, they're maintaining the vehicle, what they've been storing in this vehicle, what they've been pulling with this vehicle. You don't know, and we don't know sometimes, but we can see sometimes who this vehicle was in a possession, and that it doesn't sometimes make any difference, It depends. You don't know the person who's driving. You don't know them personally, and that's what it is. You just look at the vehicle, drive it, see how it feels. Does it feel right? Sometimes it might not feel right. I mean, how can you report this? I feel it doesn't feel right. Yeah, I mean, yes, because we're not here taking out some professional terms like those corporations want to make it up. You're just saying there's something doesn't sound right, because that means if it doesn't sound right, what does it mean? In the long term, it will have some issues, right? So you can just feel it's not right. You can just say in the long term, it might have some issues, but I would not worry about this issue at this particular time and moment, right? Again, can you advise somebody to buy a car? It's hard. It's sometimes you just have to say. I mean, you have to leave you to decide it, because technically, like if I have to be in some area and sort out some area where we're struggling with some inspectors, it's hard to say yes, go, because I know that the car might have some issues. But I mean, if you're going back to every car has problems, right? And that's why I want to elaborate a bit more. So now, from this Monday, it's not already live, but what we're going to do, it will be much easier and safer buy cars from private sellers, because we partner up with what was the warranty company here? With Customer Protect, and our and we will be offering their warranties. So means technically, yes, you have restrictions when you're buying from a private person. Technically, you don't, right? But I mean, it's a bigger hassle. But we will be able to throw extended warranties, like a cushion, like a blanket. You'll be able to get a 12 months warranty, extended warranty on a vehicle. No, any age, any mileage. Yes, we also have up to 10 years and up to 60k miles where you have wear and tear warranty, and that will make you safe cushion buying a vehicle from private sellers, and then just in case something happens, you can add just extended warranty. If you've seen the value, better buying from private seller than from the trade seller. Yes, it's safer to buy from trade seller. Again, not always. Right? Not always. You have to do your research. You have to do how long they've been in the market, what they're doing. Do they have proper yards? Because there's every Tom and Dick and Harry sells used cars in the UK. That's reality. Right? So you have to make sure to who you will be giving your money. And that's important. It's very important, because if you give somebody money, it does a runner. you left with what? With the car you purchased, right? And there are scammers as well out, so you have to be careful. Even when you're selling a vehicle, you can get us out, we can inspect it, and then you have the report, you have video feedback or audio feedback, depends which inspection package you bought or you choose, right? And there are also people who, just be careful of this, private sellers who are selling cars privately. There are people who are going around, yeah, and they will road test your vehicle. Technically, you don't know to who you give your vehicle to. And there have been occasions where we had customers phoning in and saying this is what happened. And technically they want to actually get your car. You know, they just want to nick your car that way. You know, so just be careful when you are a seller. And even if you get somebody comes out to inspect it, who do you know who they are? So if somebody says somebody from CarExamer, just make sure you just ring us in or send us a text and say, is their vehicle booked for the inspection? Right? I'm not saying it's happening, but I'm just saying there are tricks what the people playing about, like fake logbooks, clone cars, right? They're a stupid way of cloning a vehicle with fake logbook, right? Check for watermarks. Do your full vehicle history checks. Make sure you do your due diligence. Some of the main dealers who are or every one of them are in a used car business, right? They check vehicle histories at least 3 times, because you don't know what happened at point A, B, and C. The ABC is times, right? It could be between 1 week, 2 weeks, since you get this car in possession, get it ready, remarket, get things done, and put it on a sale. You don't know what's happening. You don't know from where you get this car from. You check it, it's clean, and then next time you check it, there's some finance on it, you know, or something else being delayed. Paperwork being delayed. It might not be written off quickly enough. I mean, highly doubt it would not be written off, and it would not be there straight away. It would be, but I mean, the finances are those issues. The why you should check the mileage discrepancies. You know, it's a big one. You know, so it's tricky. It's a tricky business, you know. Buying a car is tricky. Inspecting a car is tricky. Selling a car is tricky. It's a game, you know. And protect yourself. Avoid hassle. Avoid spending ages, times dealing with problems. Get an inspector. Get it inspected. Know everything about the car. Make the right decision. And forget about it. CarExamer.com. We love cars, we love people, we love what we do. Have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in.